Hello, this is Muhammad Al-Qahtani. Uh, I'll talk to you about a product that's ready to be created in its minimum valuable product and starting a startup. This product is border satellites and how we protect country borders using satellites. I'll speak about the main idea, the first step in developing the MVP, and know Muhammad, your presenter, the real life problem, the problem in real life, and we address that real life, how to resolve it. Finally, developing that MVP and maintain it. Controlling borders is one of the biggest concerns globally. A low-cost system using HD image satellites could be a product that is desirable globally. This concern starts by the previous president of the United States, Donald Trump, going in public and saying that the south borders, the southern borders, is a big concern for the country, and building a wall is a must to protect the country. So it is not a concern of countries, small countries, or countries that cannot have the resources to maintain their border. It is a concern by one of the biggest countries in the world, and one of the wealthy countries in the world, and one of the countries that can do a lot of products to resolve such a problem. So, Muhammad Al-Qahtani, I have a Bachelor of Engineering in Microcomputer System, a master degree in computer science. I worked for over 10 years in government and companies. I created the startups, fund them, and develop tool for continuous integration. Now I'm creating MVP and developing them, trying to make those MVP available globally by giving them to startup and link those startups incoherent to be as one global company or one international company. So what is the problem? The problem is logging each illegal borders crossing entity. How we log illegal cross from one country to another country with evidence, like logging the violation of the speed. How it's possible for us to log that violation. So since the borders are too long to be controlled, many countries use different type of barriers and rely on the assumptions the barriers cannot be crossed. So how to log that cross is the assumption that those barriers, either a fence, wall, whatever it is, cannot be crossed. How do you identify the identity of the crossing entities? How do you identify the person, the car, which car is crossing, violating that rule? which person is crossing the border. Knowing which entity crossed the border illegally could be an indirect task, since the incident with its time and date can be deniable without evidence. The other problem is identify the identity of the crossing entity. Knowing who is crossing the border illegally is hard task. Since the incident with its time and date can be deniable. Someone inside the country can deny I crossed the borders illegally without any evidence. Law enforcement for each incident. Without notifying law enforcement officer by reporting the crossing incidents, law enforcement officer won't be able to maintain the security of a large area for 24/7. So if you don't log the incidents on time and notify the officers, the border control officers, it's hard for officer to maintain the security 24/7. You need a lot of officers to maintain the security of the borders. But by notify those officers, they can be there on time and can enforce the law. How we resolve that is log each illegal border crossing entity. You log the object crossing from one country to another using satellites that capture picture every 5, 8, or 10 minutes. As you can see, there are many products, the 15 centimeter resolution. You can capture every 10 minutes, covering the area. You can cover a big area. How much that costs? One pioneer company, Tehran Orbital Corporation, signed a deal with a company to build 300 satellites for 2.4 billion, while Trump's border wall would be the world's most costly. It's 11 billion. 11 billion, and here's 2.4. Thinking about wall, the wall won't prevent the crossing illegally 100%. Since you can build underground tunnel, trench, I think those tunnels, underground tunnels, were used for smuggling weapons from Egypt to Gaza when during war. Second problem, identify the identity of the crossing entity. Identify the object using artificial intelligence tools and keep track of the object position every 5, 8, or 10 minutes using satellite image. Many products are available like this. Image classification, classifying that image as an apple. You can classify also, build a tool that classifies the person. Is wearing a jacket. What is the color of the jacket? Is it a car? Is it a person? What is the color of the hair? How tall is the person? What is the weight of the person? Is it thick? Is the person big, small? So you can do that by artificial intelligence when you capture an image by the satellite. Law enforcement for each incident. Uh, you report the object detail and location to all law enforcement departments. So when there is a department and one of that department's tasks is maintaining the border security, another department task is that deport illegal immigrant. A third department task in the government is that keeping legal residents in the neighbor. So you can report that, report while tracking the object for a day, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and report the location of that object when you capture it by artificial intelligence system. So at the end of that presentation, you could see that this can be this product can be subscribed can be subscribed in as a service for many countries. If you're gonna cover entire the world, you can sell that image notification, all the system. You sell it as a service for many countries. So you save for some countries building satellites and tracking the crossing object. You keep the countries focusing on the ports and the products coming from ports.